Hello Gemini, welcome to Monarch Intuition, and today I'm going to be doing your March 2023 monthly check-in reading for you. So if you're new to my channel, what I like to do is I like to pull one major arcana to see the energy and then clarify with a different deck. Sorry these readings are coming out super late, had a lot of weather issues and whatnot. So what's going on for Gemini? What do we need to know for you? We have the Hanged Man. So when I see this Hanged Man energy, this is a need for pause and reflection, so that way you can take accountability of what's happened within your life, so that way you can see a way forward so you can be more enlightened, all right? So the Hanged Man and the High Priestess kind of go hand in hand with one another. The High Priestess understands everything that she's done, and the Hanged Man is looking for the secret of the High Priestess, right? So what do we need to know about this Hanged Man energy? The High Priestess is kind of like someone that shows you with the scroll of your life how every single situation led you up to a certain point. And the Hanged Man is seeking the High Priestess as, how did this choice lead me here? Okay, so what do we need to know about the Hanged Man? So we have the Knight of Swords in reversed, your energy. We have the World in reversed, and we have the Sunlight upright. So what I'm seeing right here is that you are failing to complete a cycle right here. A cycle that will make you happy once you finally understand it and once you finally complete it. I think that you are kind of stagnant. You have your communications crossed right here. The Knight of Swords, he has a goal, right? His goal is to get from point A to point B. He has to deliver a message. He's kind of like the spy, right? He is a spy. He's not supposed to engage with the battlefield. His goal is to use the chaos to get from here to here to deliver the message across the enemy lines, right? So with this Knight of Swords, this is kind of like he's not wanting to do that. He's kind of like, well, I'm just going to hang out here. I'm going to, engage in this sword fight. But that's not the goal. His goal is not being completed. You have to complete a cycle in order to understand the sunlight energy. So what is going on with this Knight of Swords? You have the Ace of Cups and you have the Three of Cups. I feel like your problem right here is you like to engage in chit-chat. You like to engage in happiness. With this Ace of Cups, you just want to raise your cup up and celebrate with people. You just want to have a good time. But the problem is it's like the old saying is work first, play later. And I feel like you're playing first and working later. And I'm not saying that that's, the main problem within your life right here. I'm just pointing out for a cycle that you're failing to complete right here. It seems like maybe you give too much information to people. Maybe you give too much of yourself away. Maybe people are able to use that against you. Maybe you know what you have to do, but you prefer to hang out with people. It's kind of like in college, a lot of people want to party. Some people can get their degrees and other people fail out because they like to party. Now, maybe you're someone who got their degree, but at the same time, you just like to have fun and do whatever. I feel like this is a point of you needing to be serious in order to complete the world right here. You're able to do a lot of different things. You're able to have a lot of different groups of friends. You want to raise your cup up and celebrate with people, but that's the problem, I think. The World, Six of Pentacles with the Nine of Cups. Yeah, you're giving to beggars when you shouldn't be. You're giving your own wish away. You're supposed to be completing something. You're supposed to deliver a message or get this point across or complete this, but you are choosing to be this person right here, the bigger person, because as you see, these other people are on the ground. And I almost feel like in a way you're supporting other people's negative behavior, okay? You might be the one who's the most wealthy in a friend group. You might be the one with the car. You might be the one doing X, Y, and Z. You know you have to complete a cycle. Maybe you do too much for people. I think that's it right there. There's a time to do for other people, and then there's a time to be kind of self-serving and saying, I have to complete these goals within my life. I have to get this done. It's like, I got to put the oxygen mask on my face before I help you put your oxygen mask on. That is the cycle right there. And I'm not saying that, you can't help other people, but you have to be able to, get your degree. Like if you want to be a doctor and you want to save people's lives, you can't just be driving people across town in the middle of the night. You can't be letting people have your car. You can't be staying up late to take care of people because, whatever. You got to complete your goal. And that's the Sun, is you have to attain your own happiness. With the Knight of Cups, with the Hierophant, yes, you have to attain your own stability. You have to be completely connected to the Hierophant energy. That means getting a degree, getting that job, being stable, being committed to a situation. You need to be able to sit into a Hierophant organization and say, I belong to this group of people right here. You have the Ace of Wands coming out, you have the Judgment, and you have the Wheel of Fortune. You have a new opportunity to be called onto a new life right here, and you have the opportunity to sit on the Wheel of Fortune. But here's the thing. Just because you get back on the Wheel of Fortune doesn't guarantee you a safe travel. You're going to have to sit through those cycles again of being sad, being miserable, being depressed. It's like, you know, say for instance, you have a goal, right? And every time you are about to attain this goal, you get really bored, you get sad, and you want to start a relationship with people, or you want to go have fun. Well, you start a relationship, that person consumes your life and it destroys everything, and now you go back to point one. And you're like, well, why can't I have a relationship? Because you're supposed to complete the goal first. The relationship comes after. Anything that is a relationship or anything that's offered to you, anything that's a temptation with this Ace of Cups, anything that gives you like emotional pleasure, while you are trying to complete something for yourself, is going to tear down your tower. And you're going to have to complete the cycle from scratch, okay? You have to understand doing high level work like being a pharmacist, being a doctor, a lawyer, getting that really good job, being, getting that managerial position, whatever it is inside of organizations, it requires suffering. Great art requires great suffering. Understand that, Gemini. You have the Five of Cups. Yeah, the Five of Cups with the Three of Cups fallen over. As you can see, there are 3 cups that are falling over, and then you have the Three of Cups right here. This is kind of like fair weather friends. It's like they're happy for you when you're doing good or when you're happy. But the moment that you get sad, well, they leave you because, well, you're not happy anymore. You're not fulfilling their desires. You're not feeling that, well, you're not happy anymore, Gemini. We don't want you to hang out with us. You don't want to, like, drive us around. You don't want to give us X, Y, and Z. You don't want to do this for us. The Tower coming out, yeah, and it destroys everything. You're left with ruin. I just talked about that. You are left with a destroyed situation. And you can't see that. You have to make the decision right there that sometimes you have to sit there and kind of like suffering, okay? And for those of you who understand this, what is this energy right here? The Empress, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Star. Not giving away your secrets. That's one of the main issues right here, Gemini, is even if you understand and completed this situation, I feel like in a way, you are giving away things. You're giving away your own knowledge. You're giving away, it might not seem like a lot right here, but it's kind of like being a good steward. You have to, if you want to be a good steward, you have to give to other people who are trying, okay? You have to support, the widows and the weak, not support your fair weather friends who want to do whatever. And I feel like the ones who are going through this cycle, I feel like you're sitting pretty. You've attained what you need to attain. I feel like you're reflecting on this situation in the month of March. And maybe this is the information that you're going to be giving to other people. You can repeat what I say to other people. Like, I mean, I'm not going to say it's good advice, but it's something. So I feel like maybe this is something that you're explaining to possibly a child right here with that Empress. Maybe you're telling people how you attained. That could be that right there, is how did you attain X, Y, and Z? For instance, maybe someone is coming up to you and they're younger and they're having a story and you're saying, yeah, I used to do that too. And you tell them, a fun story. Maybe you're supposed to give them constructive criticism. Even if they don't ask for it. Is that it? 4 of Cups. Yeah, even if they don't ask for it. The Lovers, your energy, you're blessing them. You're giving them some wise, sage advice. The Fool. You're teaching them how to complete cycles right here, how to have blank slates. I feel like you're teaching a fool right here, even if they don't ask. I think that's something that you're, in a way, there are 2 ways you can look at it. Keep your secrets to yourself. Don't help people on like the financial realm if you know that they're just kind of garbage people, right? I'm not saying not to help the homeless or the needy or the suffering. I'm talking about, the people who are in your life who just have always screwed you over. But for someone right here, I feel like you're going to give them some really good advice that might change their life for the better. And they might not be asking it, or they might not be seeking it, but you are the sign of communication right here. I feel like you have the opportunity to tell someone something that will drastically change things, but you're holding on to it with the Four of Pentacles. But here's the thing. You have the Chariot coming out. I feel like you need to give it to the right person who's, you can always tell who the right person is. That person will generally be the quiet one of the group of friends. Like, yeah, sure, I'll go and do that with you. I don't know. It's like the one who's kind of like indecisive is like, sure, I'll hang out or I'll do that. And I feel like you're going to tell them something about your life that drastically changes everything. And maybe you helped them. Maybe you saved their life. You have the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands, and you have the Moonlight energy. I feel like you have to also be clever in the way that you deliver this to people, because you need to be kind of like subtle in your approach, all right? I feel like there needs to be subtle approach energy right here. You can't just like, you know, talk their ear off. You have to just give them, you know, a slight piece of wisdom, a slight piece of advice. Kind of like, you know, being an older grandmother in a situation. But I do feel like for the people who are listening to this right here, you're going to have a blank slate. It's up to you to hold on to everything that you have. Hold on to this information. Use this as a victory to attain what you want and push back the things that are unknown to you, okay? Things that don't feel good, things that don't feel right, things that feel kind of treacherous and scary. The Ace of Swords coming out, you have the truth. Without great suffering, there can't be great art, okay? You can't produce something without suffering. And that's what the Nine of Wands is. Like, you know, people who are doctors, they have to go through residencies. They have to stay up super late. They don't get any type of sleep. People who go to, like, you know, the military and the boot camps or whatever, they have to stay up super late. They have to suffer through that. Like, they can't attain anything without having, hold on. This thing is getting caught right there. They can't attain anything unless they suffer for it. And that's the whole point of life, is that sometimes you have to forego what you want to do versus what is good for your ultimate goal within your life, okay? You have the Four of Swords, Peace, Knight of Pentacles, and the Devil. You have to have a peaceful resolution, and you have to stay stagnant, otherwise the devil will pull you back into a temptation. And that's the thing, it's like right when you're about to complete something, right when you're about to be done, boom, there's that temptation from the devil. And that's the message that you need to hear, is that whenever your life is going good, whenever you're about to complete the world, there will always be that devil. You will always get that depressive feeling. You will always feel sad. You'll always be like, oh, poor me, what's me against the world? And then there will be the devil who will dangle something in your face and say, destroy your life, Gemini. And this time you have to say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sit here because I'm going to attain something and I'm going to complete this goal. And the goal is the sunlight with the Hierophant. The goal is the Empress with the Ten of Pentacles and the star, which is very symbolic to what it is right here. So we have the Justice coming out, you have the Three of Wands, and you have the Two of Scepters. That is exactly what this is. It's like justice will be delivered if you can see the same cycle and the same pattern on the world. If you can accept the new opportunity that's coming in. Because I feel like what you have to understand is that when the devil offers you something, it's not it's a new person, but it's the same cycle with a new face, okay? That's what you have to understand, is that the devil will offer you a new person or a new group of friends or a new group of whatever, but it's the same cycle of the devil, just painted on differently, painted to look more glamorous for how you're feeling that day. The new cycle is when you complete something and you're going on to a new situation, like that new job that's very different. Maybe you've always worked retail, you get that, you know, degree and you're able to work as a scientist. But every single time you're about to complete your degree, there's, you know, that relationship, there's that thing that drags you back into where you never complete it. But this time you can complete it because the new cycle is you getting that job as, you know, a chemist or a doctor, whatever it is. So what's going on for you, Gemini? What do we need to know with the Witch's Familiar Oracle cards? We have Nymph, Promiscuity, and Ant Cooperation. It seems like it's a relationship. It just seems like you want to have fun. It seems like you just want to go out and be promiscuous. And promiscuous doesn't always have to be with sex. It could just be like you want to have fun. You want to go out and do things. You don't want to stay true to the course. You don't want to cooperate with, you know, the group of people, or you want to be promiscuous and cooperate with like these people who are into self-destructive behavior. And you can be wealthy. You can be wealthy and know people like this. Because, you know, there are people who play Keeping Up with the Joneses, who live their entire life off of credit, who are always asking for handouts, who are always, you know, they might have a nice house, they might have the nice family, the nice car, but then they're asking you for money, or they're asking you for a favor, they're asking you for something. So it's like, once again, it's the devil painted on with different faces. It doesn't always have to be a college roommate doing this to you, or it doesn't have to be, you know, a quick fling. It could actually be someone who is established, someone who is very well known in a community, but they are incapable of handling money, resources, finances, whatever. You have the trust and passion. I feel like you need to break trust with passion right here, because the trust card is actually, trust is broken. So maybe someone cheats on a situation. Maybe that's a cycle that you've always been through, is that someone isn't faithful. You give up everything for someone else, and just in the end, they're not faithful, because once again, you're coming at it from a form of desperation. When you get depressed and say, I'm going to go out and find someone, that usually doesn't work out for you, especially when you're working on a goal. If you're working on a goal and you say, I don't want to complete this goal because it makes me sad, or because of X, Y, and Z, and you go out and find that relationship, it destroys everything that you've worked for, okay? That's the cycle. That's the truth behind that matter. You have Air Force, you have infinite abundance, and you have be love. So here's the thing, the changing of the wind, the changing of the seasons, changing that cycle, changing that course within your life leads you to infinite abundance, and then there is a loving situation that you can have afterwards. There is that connection between two people in that harmonious situation. Like, why would you want to continuously give yourselves to people who are low lives, who don't have anything, when you could easily, with all of your know-how, with all of your skills, get that really good situation and meet someone who is at your level, who's wanting to exchange that with you. Maybe they're just waiting on you, but you keep screwing up your cycles over and over and over again. Think about that, Gemini. Think about how the other person or the other situation you were supposed to be with, how miserable they are because you keep screwing up, okay? I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying, think about it from that perspective. That card wants to come out. I'm going to get you one more. Algus, protection. Earthly meaning protection, assistant, advancement, and persistence. You have to be persistent. Spiritual meaning is guardian spirit, divine intervention, and mysticism. Okay? Therasaz, thorn, protection, barriers, pride, self-deception. Spiritual meaning is destruction and rebirth, inner truth, and false ego. That's the thing, is it's like it's self-deception, it's pride, it's devil energy. That's the barrier that prevents you from getting somewhere, and it always has you have these destructions, but that's the thing, is the universe will always let you have a rebirth. But the problem is that you keep coming back to these false energies that are the devil. You have answers, connect with your mind, or connect with the higher power, open your mind, broaden your horizons, and invoke wisdom. So anyway, Gemini, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll talk to you later.